There's a specific kind of person who remembers your coffee order from 6 months ago, and they're not trying to impress you or gain favor. They're wired for practical care. The psychology behind this, what actually happens in the ISFJ brain when they observe and serve others, reveals why some people focus inward while others focus outward on needs. And if you're watching this, there's a reason you're here. See? Here's what's wild about the ISFJ personality type. We've spent decades studying personality frameworks, cognitive functions, and behavioral patterns, but only recently have researchers explored how specific type combinations create distinct worldviews. What about people who are introverted, sensing, feeling, and judging, creating a personality that prioritizes concrete care over abstract theory? There's actual psychology behind this, and it's not what you think. First, let's get real about what being ISFJ actually does to how you experience the world, because this isn't just being nice or helpful. When an ISFJ encounters someone's need, their brain processes it through what psychologists call introverted sensing paired with extroverted feeling, creating practical empathy. Studies on cognitive functions show that ISFJs store vast libraries of sensory details about people and situations, then use that information to anticipate needs before they're spoken. Your brain literally catalogs how people take their coffee, what stresses them, their preferences, creating detailed internal maps of everyone you care about. The effects are measurable. Exceptional memory for personal details, strong sense of duty, preference for harmony, and what researchers call behind-the-scenes service orientation. And here's the key part that changes everything about understanding ISFJs. These aren't people who lack boundaries or can't say no. They're experiencing genuine satisfaction from creating stability and comfort for people they've chosen to care about. They've discovered that their fulfillment comes from concrete acts of service rather than abstract ideas or being the center of attention. Research on personality types found that people fall on spectrums of introversion versus extroversion, sensing versus intuition, thinking versus feeling, and judging versus perceiving. ISFJs combine introversion with sensing, feeling, and judging, creating brains optimized for practical care, tradition, and creating stable environments for others. But here's where it gets interesting, because what happens when ISFJs are forced into leadership roles reveals their entire cognitive structure. Here's what personality researchers discovered that explains everything. ISFJs lead through service and example rather than vision and charisma, preferring to enable rather than direct. And this fundamentally changes how they experience contribution, because recognition feels uncomfortable while knowing people are cared for provides deep satisfaction. This isn't about being a doormat or lacking ambition. It's about deriving meaning from different sources than recognition-focused or innovation-driven types. When you're an ISFJ, your dominant function is introverted sensing, meaning you experience the world through detailed sensory memory in comparison to past experience. But your auxiliary function is extroverted feeling, so you make decisions based on maintaining harmony and meeting others' emotional needs in concrete ways. Studies on cognitive function stacks show that this combination creates people who excel at maintaining traditions, remembering details, and providing practical support others overlook. Their strength isn't visionary thinking or strategic planning. It's creating reliable systems and caring for people in tangible ways that actually matter day to day. Here's the paradox that might validate your experience as an ISFJ or with one. The people who contribute most to group stability and well-being are often ISFJs working behind scenes, yet they receive least recognition because they don't seek it. They understood intuitively what research confirms, that sustainable success requires people who maintain systems, remember details, and care about everyone's practical needs, not just bold vision. If you're someone who isn't ISFJ, their detailed memory feels impressive. Their service feels supportive, like they're the glue holding everything together. But for ISFJs themselves, providing practical care feels natural, like breathing, and they often don't realize how exceptional their memory and attentiveness actually is. And if that's you, being ISFJ isn't weakness or lack of vision. It's possessing cognitive gifts that make communities, families, and organizations actually function. But wait, before you think this means ISFJs should accept being taken advantage of or never develop assertiveness, let me stop you right there. Understanding your type doesn't mean accepting mistreatment or suppressing growth. Let me be clear about healthy versus unhealthy ISFJ development. Healthy ISFJs have boundaries and can say no. Unhealthy ones become martyrs who resent the service they provide but can't stop providing it. The research identifies 5 core characteristics that consistently show up in healthy ISFJ personality types. 1. Exceptional memory for concrete details about people and situations. They remember birthdays, preferences, past conversations, creating comprehensive internal databases of everyone they know. 2. Strong sense of duty and responsibility. They feel genuine obligation to maintain traditions, fulfill commitments, and ensure people they care about are supported. 3. Preference for harmony over confrontation. They experience conflict as genuinely distressing and will often accommodate to restore peace, sometimes at personal cost. 4. Practical service orientation. They show love through actions like remembering your favorite meal, not grand gestures or verbal affirmations that feel less genuine. 5. Introverted energy management. They need significant alone time to recharge after social interaction, even when they enjoyed the connection and care about the people. But here's the part that reveals deeper complexity and prevents us from oversimplifying ISFJs into just caregivers. Not every ISFJ expresses the type identically, and cognitive function development varies significantly based on life experience and conscious growth work. Some ISFJs are unhealthy, becoming martyrs who enable dysfunction, resent their service, or use guilt to manipulate others into appreciating them. That's unhealthy development. Others are highly developed, maintaining boundaries while serving, advocating for their needs, and balancing care for others with genuine self-care. That's healthy development. If you're an ISFJ who resents your service but can't stop providing it, that's worth exploring, because martyrdom isn't your type, it's trauma. If you're an ISFJ who genuinely enjoys practical care while maintaining boundaries, that's worth celebrating as healthy expression of your cognitive gifts. Here's what I need you to understand about ISFJs. They're not weak, codependent, or lacking in intelligence or capability. They're operating from cognitive function stack that prioritizes concrete reality over abstract possibility and group harmony over individual recognition or theoretical innovation. Studies show that ISFJs represent roughly 13% of population, making them one of most common types. Yet their contributions are often invisible because they work behind scenes. They've discovered that their satisfaction comes from knowing systems work, people are cared for, and traditions are maintained, not from credit or spotlight. This is cognitive preference, not character flaw. But here's the reality that makes being ISFJ psychologically challenging. Society increasingly values innovation over maintenance, vision over execution, and self-promotion over quiet service, making ISFJ contributions feel undervalued despite being essential. So being ISFJ often means providing the infrastructure everyone depends on while watching more charismatic or visionary types receive credit and recognition. The solution isn't trying to become someone you're not. It's developing your tertiary and inferior functions while honoring your core cognitive gifts. Research shows that ISFJs who develop thinking and intuition while maintaining their sensing and feeling strengths report highest life satisfaction and career success. Here's what gets me about ISFJ psychology. It validates that some people are genuinely wired to find meaning through service rather than recognition. We've built a culture that treats self-promotion as necessary and service as weakness. But communities literally cannot function without people who care about practical details. If you're an ISFJ, your detailed memory, practical care, and commitment to harmony aren't character flaws or lack of ambition. That's your brain's natural operating system, and developing it healthily while learning boundaries creates contributions that visionary types simply cannot provide, no matter how hard they try. If this resonated with you, please like and subscribe to support more deep dives into how different personality types actually work.